What's up, Blue Chips? We went 0 for 6 today. Let's just get right to it. All right, here. So I'm just going to give you the quick recap again. If you guys want to go watch, you can watch up there the live streams. I'll put the card up there so you guys can click on it. I'll put the timestamp for the very first trade, but as you can see, all of our trades were here on CNX. So if you want to just kind of fast forward from the first trade, you can. But if we scroll out a little bit here, you'll see our first trade was based off of the double top here. It was a nice extended move into that double top resistance at 12. We were looking for 12 to reject and come back down before continuing if it wanted to. It said, no, we're going to continue through 12 and make a little bit more of a move. So it stopped us out there. We ended up re-entering at what looks to be a pretty good spot, but our take profit was down here under 12. And as you can see, we just kept retesting 12 over and over. And we never actually tested 12, 1202, 1203, 1204. We could just never get it. So I guess people got tired of that, did not want to complete this descending triangle that it formed, and it decided to go higher and didn't quite stop us out. Our stop was actually at 51. We never got close enough to our take profit order either to where we would move our stop down to break even. So we ended up keeping it at 51. It came up here, it tried it. It actually tried to come back down and go through 12 again, 1203. And as you can see, that candle, it got bought right up. So it wasn't looking very good, but we let the trade play out. We accepted the risk, and it ended up going through. So as you can see, it was a pretty good stop out. And, you know, we kind of liked the idea that it was going, if it was going to move, we were looking for a pretty decent move up through. And so it moved, and we ended up getting this entry at 71. It kind of felt like it was topping there. We were just looking for the quick move back down through 50 and retest this previous resistance. As you can see, it started to, so we weren't totally wrong. But we were wrong. So this thing just, I don't know, just wants to continue going up all day, I guess, until we got out, obviously, but we'll get to that. So it continues. We end up stopping out right over 13. Our stop was at 1301. We ended up getting some slippage there at 1306, or was it 1301? It was, yeah, 1301. So we got stopped out 1306, got bad slippage there. We were getting slippage on this pretty much on every stop out that we had. We ended up jumping back in at 1309 because it felt like it was a fake out. We were kind of right. It went down and tested under 13 for a second there, and it said nope. And as you can see, our stop was pretty much right at the high on this one. So we're, I guess, a little emotional on wanting to get in on some of this descending triangle action because this thing was super extended. There was no way we were going to let this go down without us. So we jump back in for the descending triangle, gets down to 13. It tests it 2 times, does not go through, ends up going back up and stopping us out at high of day. It continues a little bit higher like it's going to continue, but does not. A little bit of a fake out. So now we're actually really excited. So we jumped back in for the descending triangle here. Looks like we're right. Looks like we're going to come down, test 13. We're going to get the big move down, and then no, it makes a higher low, comes up, tests high of day again, stops us out, pokes through, goes up to the 1341. I said, okay, I'm emotional on this thing now. We've lost on it 6 separate times. I'm done with it. And what do you know? It decides to finally go down, test 13 and go through, and looks like it's finally going to start trying to make that move down towards 1250 like we were looking for on 1, 2, 3, 4 separate occasions. So, of course, the market, if you guys were there for the live stream this morning, you know that I wasn't feeling well. I don't know. It just kind of hit me yesterday afternoon. Still not 100%. So the market definitely has a good way of kicking a guy when he's down. So that's kind of how I feel this morning. I'm just going to chalk it up. It's going to make my P&L for the last, since I've started trading this way. You got to remember I upped the risk, so this is going to look a lot worse. So every time I lost here, it was actually 2R for the first 25 trades. We just started with the new risk here. We doubled it, so it's going to look bad on the P&L there. But overall, losing 6R, about 6.7R after slippage. But if you remember, if we look at the overall Rs that were up, on here, I'm not going to pull it up. I can, it doesn't matter. It's just going to be hard for you to see. But we technically are going to be in the negative now overall, but that's because we upped our risk. So if we go down and look at our R, it's hard for me because I have the way I have the chart. But if I scroll down over here, we're actually up almost 10R total as far as the trades go. So there is that plus, right? I did give a lot back here today on one ticker in one day. It does kind of suck, but it kept presenting the opportunities. The only two that I could be a little upset with are this entry here. I could have been a little bit early. I could have been a little bit more patient with it. And then maybe for the descending triangle, I could have tried to let this kind of squeeze. I really just kind of guessed that this is where the descending triangle was going to start. And in reality, I should have been a little bit more patient with it, because if you really look at it now, I mean, technically this failed twice. It did go high of day twice, so technically it's not exactly what a descending triangle looks like, but in the overall grand scheme of things, it does appear to, look like what a descending triangle would look like, where it has that base support and it keeps coming down, squeezing tight. And so this is what we should have been looking for. We shouldn't have been just trying to guess where those entries were. But I mean, as far as this one goes, we were just early. This one, it just didn't work out. This one we should have been more patient with. This one I wasn't too upset about. It just would not have worked out. But the two descending triangle ones, this one I wasn't too upset with, more so than this one. So really just two entries. Maybe should have only had 4 total trades today. But as you can hear, I have a lot going on in the house as well. So I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate all your support. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave those down below. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Peace.